Are you thinking about switching mains but aren't sure how to? Well, after a recent viewer asked me to do a video about switching mains, I figured, you know, I might as well. So let's get into it. So first, a initial disclaimer about this video is that some of the things that I'm going to talk about might not necessarily apply for reboot world. So just keep that in mind, and I don't want any rebooters in the comments just complaining about, oh, this doesn't work for reboot. Unsubscribe, uncomment, dislike. Anyways, let's get into it. So first, before you even think about switching mains, you have to understand your sunk costs and other costs you've invested into your current main. And keep in mind that all of this, including the questline, leveling, nodes, and everything else that you've done on your main that is not shared within the account, will have to be done again on your new main. So just keep that in mind when you're switching mains. So the idea here is you want to make sure you're maining something, or your new main is going to be something that you'll definitely stick with for the foreseeable future and the foreseeable future after that. Otherwise, you're gonna have to waste more time doing the same thing over and over again. But on the bright side, I guess you'll be working on your Legion and you'll probably have lots of 230s and 240s and 250s. So I guess there is a bright side of this, right? Another thing that coincides with what I'm telling you right now is you want to watch my video on how to pick a main before you actually make the switch. This is just to make sure that you've played through a lot of the classes and understood what you actually want to main. Don't just pick a main out of a whim, because making a main is an investment and it's something that you are definitely going to need a lot of time, dedication, and effort into. So the first step and most important step is definitely to pick a main and a character that you'll definitely want to stick with. Otherwise, you're going to have to be repeating this process again. And let me tell you, it's going to be very expensive and it's not going to be fun. And for those of you who are new or relatively new to the game, I'm pretty sure this is the stage where you actually want to switch mains, because for me personally, when I'm so late into the game, I already know what I want, and I'm already certain that I don't want to switch mains at all. But for those of you who are new to the game and you guys have, let's say, a few items that are decently good but not necessarily good enough to be transferred over onto your new character, what you want to do is, because a lot of items nowadays require something called a PSOC, which is the Platinum Scissors of Karma, for those of you who don't know, and that's to make the item tradable. You want to make sure the items that you're PSOCing to either transfer over to your new character or to sell them is worth the cost of the PSOC, because right now, Meso rate in the Maple market is going for 1 bill for, I think, 8k worth of Maple points. So it's about 500 mil per PSOC. You want to make sure the item that you're PSOCing is worth a minimum, and this is a bare minimum of 500 mil. Otherwise, you basically wasted your money PSOCing things over. Experienced players probably won't run into this issue, but for those of you who are beginners and newer players to the game, you guys want to make sure that the item is worth the PSOC cost. Another thing that you should be aware of is there is a thing called equipment transfer event, and this event is mostly for weapon, secondary, and emblem. And recently we had the Night Troop event, which had this special equipment transfer event, and we also had another event, I think a few months, maybe even a year ago, I forgot when it happened, called the Celestial event, and they basically had the same thing, which allowed you to transfer the weapon, secondary, and emblem of one class onto a different class type. I'm not sure on the exact details of how things work, but there is this event for those of you who want to transfer a untradable emblem, secondary, or weapon, and you want to transfer it over to another character such as your new main. And Obviously, for those of you who reached a higher level, you cannot forget the fact that there is such a thing called the arcane symbols. The arcane symbols is very painful to acquire. It requires many days, months, weeks, years of investment in time and money to actually bring those symbols up to level. So a special thing that we have in GMS, I don't think it's available in Reboot, is called the Arcane Catalyst. And the Arcane Catalyst basically allows you to transfer the symbols over to your new character by extracting it and moving it. There is a detailed video that I did on the Arcane Catalyst if you guys want to check that out. It is going to be posted in the description link below. And before you transfer over, you want to make sure that you kind of have it up and running a bit. It's better to do dailies on your original main, than it is on your secondary main, because your first main is going to be stronger as of right now. So just something you can keep in mind. And again, you can watch my video on the Arcane Catalyst for more information. And then now we can get into those of you who are interested in MapleStory. And for those of you who are, I guess, newer to the game, or you guys just returned, there is a thing called cash shop inventory transfer to basically transfer cash shop items from character to character that originally do not share the cash shop inventory. So when you have perm pets, special NX equips, and whatever else that you want to transfer over, during these events is the best time to take advantage of them. So this is something that you can keep in mind, so you don't have to rebuy the pets, rebuy the pet equipment, rebuy the MapleStory, fashion story stuff that you have. It's something that you should definitely take advantage of, and I think it comes around once every 6 months or a year, so it depends on how Nexon is feeling. After you've stripped your character of the equips, arcane symbols, and everything, you do want to have some Star Force left on the old character so that you still have some Legion power on there. Otherwise, your Legion power will be weakened by a good amount. So you don't have to go crazy with this. What you want to do is maybe have tradable equips such as the Penciliers that drop from monsters. What you want to do is just 70% trace it maybe, and then 10 star it. It'll probably take a few hundred mil at most to finish everything. And if you don't have that, you can always use CRA and Lionheart set, which is basically Empress set. And that's something that you can do to maintain some Legion power on your original main. And just a little nice bonus. You don't have to do this, but again, it's going to help you in the long term in getting Legion coins. For explorers, for those of you who are explorers and want to transfer to another branch in your specific job, you can do that. So for example, if you are of the mage branch, right, you can go through Ice Lightning, Bishop, or Fire Poison. Let's say you are a Fire Poison mage right now and you for some reason want to become a Bishop supporter, then you can basically choose the job advancement coin and then use that coin to basically change into a Fire Poison mage or a Bishop or Ice Lightning. And same thing applies for thieves and warriors, but it only works on explorers. And sometimes you can even get these job advancement coins for free if there are specific events with coin shops and everything. So just bear that in mind. Another thing that you should keep in mind when you guys are changing mains is you guys will have to rebuy the nodes. And nodes are definitely a huge part of the investment, and you definitely need them. They are not really optional at all. They are pretty much mandatory, maybe on the same level as gear, if not more important. So you want to make sure you guys are getting nodes done and you guys have enough nodes to get started. You don't have to max out everything at the get-go, but you definitely want to bear that in mind when you guys are doing your nodes. I personally would not disassemble the nodes from your old main, because let's say for some reason in the future you decide to come back to it, you're gonna be pretty annoyed that you broke apart all of your nodes, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. So I personally wouldn't do it. Just honestly either buy new nodes because they're pretty cheap at this point, or you can also just farm them as you guys train. One of the last things I'll mention about switching mains is you want to look for gear trades. And when I say look for gear trades, you guys want to join groups such as your server specific trading groups within guilds, alliances, friends, whatever it may be. So that for people who are actually have certain gear that you want, let's say you're going from strength to int and you want to trade strength to int, you can post your equips on there and then trade between each other. Sometimes you'll get lucky and find what you want and make the successful trade, but more times than not, especially if you're in a rush, this is not really recommended. You rather just honestly sell the gear and then just buy a new set, because that'll be a lot quicker than trading, because trading is going to take a lot more effort and it takes a lot of circumstances to line up for the stars to align for you to actually be able to successfully make a trade. And as you guys are gearing up, you guys want to make sure that you guys actually buy some meso gear, because when you're training, you're going to be farming a lot of meso. So what you want to do is make sure you guys have the meso gear for training. And again, from the cash up inventory transfer, if you guys had a vac pet on your main before, if you guys had any regular pets, you guys can transfer that over. And then the pets will go to work and your meso gear will go to work as you're training your new main, so you can actually make money as you guys are training. And also drop gear would be useful if you guys can afford it to have as you're training your new main for nodes and river droplets and whatever else that drops from elite monsters and elite bosses. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, be sure to like the video and hit the subscribe. If you guys want to join my membership program, I do have one for YouTube, and it will give you guys special exclusive badges and emojis to use. I'll see you guys in the next video.